What's going on, YouTube? So, I had got a couple of questions over the last couple of months about the whole single mother issue, and I want to almost put a finale on dealing with this issue by giving the women our take, right? This is not bashing. So when you watch this video, if you're a man or a woman, understand that it's not bashing, and understand I'm not trying to condone or promote the whole idea of men being with single black mothers. I'm just sharing how we feel in a calm, cool demeanor. So it is clear for all who watch the video to understand how black men feel or view single black mothers. And I think this will be a good type of video in terms of responses and comments that I'm going to get, because the majority of black men on my page have dealt with single black mothers before. So I'm actually looking forward to hear what they have to say in terms of what I'm going to talk about. And I'm also looking forward to hearing what some of the women have to say after I'm done making this video. First, I have to start off with this. Certain men just don't like children. Certain people just don't like children. I know plenty of dudes and plenty of women that don't like kids at all. So, honestly, a dude has to like children. It is what it is. Because that child is going to be part of the relationship. Maybe not in a large, type of role, but even maybe in a minor role. But nevertheless, if he does not like children, there's going to be an issue. And I think we could all, come to terms with that, right? One can't force somebody else to like children or even like their kid, right? I'm around children and teenagers all day. Most of them are cool, but there are some that I don't want to see, right? If I'm not in a situation where they are paying me, I don't want to deal or see this child at all. That is just the reality. That is how the world is. Everybody doesn't like everybody. I don't care if it's a child. All right? All right. So next, a lot of men don't like how y'all present yourselves, right? How you try to mandate the terms of the relationship. I get offended when a woman might say, my number one priority is my kids, right? They get my attention first, but I still want you to give me a full commitment. Now, I would be a fool if I honestly didn't understand that your commitment has to go to your child first, right? I would be disgusted if that weren't the case, right? If your number one priority wasn't on your children, I would have to question who you are as a person. So for me, I already understand that, that is your child, or those are your children. So I understand that you have obligations to them that have to come before everything, even your own work. So you don't have to tell me that your children come first, right? I already expect them to. But you can't tell me that I have to give you a full-time commitment, right? I have to put all my eggs into your basket, right? I'm not saying women do that, but there's a stereotype that you guys do that, and you can't do it. At the end of the day, it's still a compromise. I tell you how much I want to put into the relationship. Now, we can negotiate, but at the end of the day, that's my choice. And it has to grow. You can't expect me to put all my eggs into your basket from the word go. It's going to take time. You have to at least understand that, right? This type of relationship is going to take longer than your average relationship where both parties don't have any sort of children. So it's going to take time. I have to weigh my options, right? My situation with you may be good, but at the end of the day, I have to weigh my options. So I don't have to make the choice to put all my eggs into your basket. Next, we do have a higher standard for you guys in terms of behavior. I do get disgusted when I hear about my female friends, or once upon a time black female friends who have children or a kid and are still wilding out and are still living a life as if they don't have children. That upsets me. Quite frankly, I'm expecting you guys to have your shit together in terms of your mentality, in terms of your spirituality. I don't want any bullshit. I don't want to have to play games. I don't want any misdirection. I don't want any reflections. I don't want any sideways type of talk. Like, I don't want none of that. Because I expect you to be on a higher level because of your situation. I expect you to be there mentally. Right? You should not be a source of any drama in terms of my life. You should be calm, cool, collected, and settled down. The whole idea of you wilding out shouldn't even be in the picture. No one's saying that you have to be a plain Jane or anything like that. But we're looking for a super level of maturity. We want to make sure that your children, right, are going to be well behaved, and your children are going to pretty much have values instilled into them. And they're only going to get that if you give it to them. And you're not going to give them the values that they need to have if you yourself have not embodied all those values. So all the key values that I'm looking for, I expect you to have. And I expect those values to be instilled into your children. It is what it is. And for most of us, we don't see that. I still see single black mothers acting as if they don't have any kids. And that's a problem. It may not be a problem to you, but in terms of the men and how we get down, it's a big problem. Right? Last thing. The amount of kids that you have determines how things are going to go. Right? So you may have one kid, you may have two, you may have three. I've met girls in college who are already on their third child and are not even 25 yet. I'm not trying to knock them or put them down, but all I'm trying to do is say that, as a dude, I have the right to walk away from a situation with you if I feel like you just have too many kids for me to handle or me to deal with. Because whether you like it or not, your children are going to play a factor in how I live my life. They should. Why would I assume that your kids are not going to have a part in my life? So we have the right to back out of a relationship or feel uncomfortable if we feel like you may have too many kids for us to handle. And I have to throw in age there too. We have the right to back out if we feel like maybe the kids are a little bit too young for me to handle, or maybe your kids are a little bit too old for me to handle. We have that right. So I'm sure I've probably missed a whole bunch of other stuff that people are going to help me fill in the gaps. But in terms of how I feel, right, those are just my thoughts on the whole issue with single mothers. I'm not the one to say that you guys are automatically ruled out and stricken from the record book. All I'm trying to do is say that, we have certain feelings about you guys that you guys need to hear and understand. Because at the end of the day, it's going to determine if our relationship with y'all is going to work or if it is not going to work. And understand that this type of relationship is going to take longer than expected. because there are so many variables that I can't even come up with that we have to account for. I hadn't even talked about, and I completely forgot this, I hadn't even talked about the father of the kids. That's a whole other video in itself. I'm not even going to touch that one. But we also have to factor that in. And I've had a relationship break because of, the baby's dad. And I even hate using that term, but, it is what it is. So, of course, tell me how you feel. Remember, I'm not trying to advocate for either side. Not trying to put anybody down. I'm just sharing my own thoughts and feelings in terms of single black mothers. Take it easy. God bless.